All About the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Katie.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened so far this week. We will be particularly focusing on the episodes of Sunday the 29th, Monday the 30th of September, and Tuesday tonight, the 1st of October. There will be spoilers, you have been warned. Katie, what did you think about all the egg throwing palaver?
Poppy! Flipping heck. Did not expect that. It was brilliant. Because when Susan said, oh, I saw who it was, I was trying to work it out quickly. I was thinking, who could it be? What's it going to be? And the fact that she was so shocked about it. And then she said, Poppy. What? Oh, wow. So I wonder if we're going to get a speaking Poppy at some point.
Why would Poppy do it? What?
I don't know. I assume because she's just annoyed with what Will's going through and everything.
Oh, and because, she blames Emma because Emma was the one that dobbed George in and she loves George, so...
And also just the whole thing about them maybe going to prison and all of that roller coaster and everything. She might still be scared about that, I guess.
Well, I thought it was Peggy, first of all.
With a flapjack.
Yes! No, that was Jill. Jill with a flapjack.
Yes, Jill Peggy with flapjacks, Peggy and an egg.
Peggy with Hilda. On the attack and an egg. Yeah, it would be fun if it was Hilda. I thought it was Peggy. She'd found out about Pat and all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a bit bewildering. Do you think Susan should tell Will?
I think she should tell Will. I don't think she should necessarily tell Emma yet. I feel like it needs to be just a conversation. But no, Susan, everyone will know. But it needs to just be a conversation with Will and just kind of think you need to have a word with Poppy.
Yeah, I was quite... Yes. I mean, it is incredible how this story is just evolving all the time.
I love it.
Yes. What is your current view? Because my view on Alice and George, even as we've been hearing it this week, has been veering from one to another in terms of end blame.
I know, because 1 minute I was loving Tracy, kind of just giving George a bit of what for, but then Brad was kind of, no, George needs to talk and let's have a chat. And so then George is just wonderful. Angus, just 1 minute you love him, 1 minute you hate him, but you feel all the emotions, whether he's being horrible, you feel it, or whether he's really remorseful and regretting everything, you feel it. And it's great because you're part of that roller coaster of how you're feeling. And I don't know how this sentencing's going to go. It's going to be so interesting.
Yeah, I think he's going to get sent down, and I don't think it's going to be the young offenders one. I think it's going to be the full-on one because he's
old enough.
Talked about too much. And I must apologise because last week I thought it was all happening on Friday, but it turns out my hearing needs to be tested because I thought it was hearing, but it was pleading or plea hearing. So apologies to everybody for that. Yeah, there's been some really useful chat in the Facebook group this week. Well, obviously every week, but in terms of people listing out all George's misdemeanors, not just this on this occasion, but throughout. And it did make me go back and think, well, yeah, he has consistently been bad, and yet equally there's been detailed analysis about how long it would take for a bottle of vodka to work through Alice's system and when she would be able to drive again legally, and whether she would actually have just sat in the car until she was legally sober. I don't know. So again, very, very, very clever indeed. But what do you think about yogurt pot lid labelling problems?
I had down that it was I had written down that it was like a riddle because we kind of had strawberry and the raspberry, rhubarb with the strawberry, the plain with the rhubarb. But where was the plain? Yes. No one said where the plain yogurts were, because if I was expecting a fruity yogurt and I got a plain, I'd be livid.
Yes, nobody's buying plain yogurts. That's why someone's put the other labels on just to yes. Oh, I'm being healthy with my plain. And would you choose rhubarb or strawberry?
Rhubarb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, strawberry's a bit boring unless it's got big chunky bits of strawberry in.
Oh no, no, thank you, not at all. And this week we've also heard Zainab being introduced to us in quite a wonderful way on her scooter. What did you think about that, Katie?
Well, at first I was a bit, who on earth is this? But then it kind of made me remember when Hannah joined, and it made me miss Hannah a bit because I kind of thought we've
Mm.
not had kind of an Aggie new person for a while because Hannah got everyone's backs up and now everyone loves her, but we never hear from her anymore. But Zainab, I think, could be quite a good character, and I've actually got the Maliks moving in as one of my faves because I feel like it's going to be a bit of kind of a town mouse, country mouse thing where they've come from the town and they're having to try and get used to this whole country life and dealing with Asian hornets and country roads and dogs and goodness knows what.
I do think we all now know that there is an app where you can register if you've seen a hornet. Yeah, we've got the message. We don't, please, no more of this app, Hornet app. I don't need to know that. I do know it,
Yes,
but I don't.
It was definitely, what was it? It was Sunday's episode was definitely a public service announcement episode because we had the whole how you should drive down country roads and all of that, and then we had about the Asian hornets and then what to do if you get stung. There was so many kind of public service announcements. I don't know how many more we're going to get, but there was a lot on Sunday.
I loved how she called Ben Dogman when she was trying to get his help. I thought that was great. And the actor comes hot from Waterloo Road, so there we go.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. That's exciting.
What did you think about Pat going to talk to Alice and Lillian arriving?
Wow, there's so many emotions in my notebook. I was kind of just trying to work out what was going on because I loved Lillian always giving Pat a bit of a what for. I thought that was wonderful, but I did feel sorry for Tony later on, kind of stuck between the two because he was sticking up for Lillian a little bit and then he had to stick up for Pat, but then also that kind of Lillian was saying about Jenny turning in her grave and stuff like that. There's a lot of emotions there for Tony as well. But yeah, Pat, I like how involved Pat is with all of this. I didn't think she'd be this involved, but I'm loving the whole Pat and Tony side to this whole thing. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I loved hearing Lillian. As soon as Alice said, oh, it's Lillian, she said she was coming round, I thought, oh no. And then the way she studiously ignored Pat and then went in for the kill. I mean, she considers herself sort of Alice's mum now, really, that protection that she has over her. But yeah, I admired Pat for going to talk to Alice, but I just I loved the awkwardness of Lillian, but I was glad I wasn't there.
Yes.
Helen, we've learnt today, is in Hebden Bridge
Taking some cheese, which was random. Not sure if she's heard of a courier.
Yeah. I thought maybe she's gone to a witches' meeting in Hebden Bridge. Sorry.
Did Quentin invite her and send her up there?
Yes, well, wasn't sure about that. Any flops at all?
So I've got is Hilda okay? Because there was a whole thing about Hilda and then the tractor having to swerve and nothing about Hilda after that. And I was thinking, well, surely if Hilda had been hit, they'd have said something, but also it just kind of went a bit dead. And I thought, oh, I hope Hilda's all right. So yeah, if Hilda's listening, if you could just kind of type in, that would be great. Just let us know how you're doing. Another random flop was the way Alice and Chris were treating Martha a little bit like an adult. She's 3, but they were just chatting to her like she was a teenager up in her bedroom and kind of, are you ready? Are you coming now? And just the little conversations that they were having, shouting to her kind of thing, and not acting like she was a 3-year-old at all.
Yeah, that I agree. Martha, for me, is a problem at the moment. They need to stop saying it's because of what she's gone through. Yes, I'm sure that has some bearing, but she's really young, and I think, Martha could be another problem. There's going to have to be a whole juvenile prison set up in Ambridge for Poppy and Martha, who's a delinquent, and all of these. And
it'll be interesting to see if it kind of develops later, though, the whole Martha thing, when she's slightly older and got a speaking part, as to whether that kind of develops and there's a back in her childhood and all of this happened, and who knows whether that's going to build into something else. Who knows?
Yeah, and we've already heard in previous weeks that Martha's very fussy about her toast, and it's got to be cooked in a particular way. So, yeah, I am concerned about that because Martha, she's 3, isn't she? So that's quite young to have a lot of memories. Obviously, I'm not disputing the impact, but it's too much for me. Martha just needs to give her some Play-Doh. She'll be fine. That's my way.
Stickle bricks, she'll be fine, definitely.
Love a stickle brick. Yes.
Have you got any more flops?
Another flop for me was Ben administering the meds as if he was in Casualty, an episode of Casualty. First of all, I was worried about the liability of him doing so.
Yeah.
Because he did ask her if she had any allergies, quite right too. But I just was a little concerned over repercussions of that. It all seems fine now. And he had a lovely chat with Dr. Mallet. But and another flop for me is some of the silent characters that I really wanted to hear. So we've had Barry, who enjoyed the cricket celebrations too much. And then we heard Alice make mention of Genevieve Stradbolt, this specialist. Love
we
that
needed
name.
her.
Genevieve Stradbolt. Loved it. But yes, my main focus was, so we had axe throwing. There was talk, Lillian talking about axe throwing at the place she'd been to. And then today is egg throwing. So what will be thrown tomorrow, I wonder? Hopefully not Pat.
Yes, or an axe at Pat.
Yes.
Imagine.
Yeah. Any other flops for you?
Not flops, just faves, no.
Oh, go on, give me some faves.
Oof. So the fact that the egg got thrown at the window, there's a reason the window's there. They've suddenly remembered that there was this whole storyline about a window. So, let's throw an egg at it. So that was very exciting, the fact that the window had a reason. So that's very exciting. But my main fave was the fact that Brad's found his tribe of fellow nerds. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The best news. Oh, that's what uni's for. It's to find your little tribe, and he's done it.
I did feel like he was saying he was glad he was living at home just to placate Tracy. I don't think that. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I think he wishes he was at Hall's. I think he feels like he's missing that lifestyle bit, the whole kind of uni life. He's commuting in and out, so he's getting the daytime stuff. But yeah, you miss the kind of just sitting around in someone's room and watching telly, having a drink and having a takeaway and stuff like that. He's definitely missing that side, bless him.
I love the way Tracy said the word seminar and semester. She was loving these words and so proud of him, which was nice. Were you surprised when she went for George?
Yes. Yeah, I hadn't kind of realised that he would go round there. I hadn't really thought about that bit. But yeah, the way she reacted, I kind of thought it would be a bit of a telling off or a bit of a stern word. But I didn't expect her to kind of go for him like that kind of thing. But just the contrast of her fieriness and then Brad's just calmness of, no, he needs to chat. Let's go and have a chat. And I thought that was wonderful.
But I think she was right to say, no, you're not coming in. And they went for a walk. I admire her for standing her ground.
Definitely.
Any other faves?
Not really, no. Just got Lillian reacting to Pat, but I don't know if it's a fave, but I've written it in the faves. I don't think it is, but Lillian reacting to Pat and comparing the Rob and George storyline. I thought that was really interesting. Just the way she was seeing that as the same kind of thing, because it is kind of the same kind of men being horrible to women in certain ways, but it's also totally different. There's a very, very faint connection, if anything. There's not really.
I would have thought she'd have thrown in her face the whole thing some years ago when Helen and Tom were driving back and Helen had something to drink and she hit Mike Tucker. I would have thought there'd be some talk about that event rather than using the Rob as an example. But yes.
Very strange combination. But yeah. But no others. Have you?
No, that's it. Although, of course, the fave of Quentin in particular is food, so I should just run through this. Lunch, a chocolate shop. I mean, come on, what's not to like? A nice tea, birthday cake, honey carrots, toast, yoghurt, strawberry, rhubarb and plain, and an egg.
Random mix today. Maybe we should try and make a meal. Every time that there's a list of food, we should try and make a meal out of that. I mean, I don't cook, as we know from my New Year's resolution, so I won't be doing anything.
I'm better at the eating than the cooking, so I'm with you on that.
We'll get someone else on that.
Now, before we come on to our Star of the Week, I must just highlight the fact that Patreon, we've got a Patreon event on the 18th of October at 7:30. Do join us. The links below will be there to fill in and to join us on the Patreon event. But also, we've had some requests. Most recently, Olwyn, thank you very much, has asked if we could do something called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can just tip us on a one-off basis. You don't get any benefits for it, but you're just supporting us, which we're very grateful for. And so, yes, we have set up on Buy Me a Coffee, and there will be links for that in the show notes. Anyway, back to Star of the Week. Apart from Olwen
Very
for
exciting.
Suggesting that, Katie, who's your Star
thanks.
of the Week?
I've got Brad.
Yeah.
I've just put love him. Just everything about him tonight. He was wonderful. Just the fact how he was talking about uni, how he's settling in with that lot, but just how mature he was with George. Brad's wonderful. Might be a new fave. You?
Well, I've written down Brad, but you've said Brad, so I'm going to go for Dr. Malik. I just thought she was really good with Ben, and mentioning this part-time healthcare assistant role at the surgery, that could be interesting. And it was just nice to hear him talk to another medical professional about his future. So
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see how he might fit into the village as well when he's finished, where he could slot in. I think that would be really good.
Predictions.
Yes, so I've got the Archers and University Challenge do a crossover, and so we've got Brad in the team doing the whole thing, so we can have a little special extra episode there.
Yes.
Or Brad becomes a YouTube sensation when he's taking over George's YouTube channel, or video streaming channel, whatever we're calling it, and it's going to be called Brad's Boffins. And they'll all have a specialist subject.
I love that.
So yeah, that's my main one. And then I've got Azra and Ben are going to start a book surgery, because you know, after the Fate, when they had that bookstall, and then Azra was just doing a little random doctor's surgery on the side, they're going to open a little bookshop that's got a little consulting room next to it, so you can have a book and have a sit down, and then get your ailments sorted at the same time.
Totally there for that. Well, I've just got one, and because I've said I think George won't be going to the young offenders, I think he'll be going to full-on adult prison, but my prediction is that the Hornets will form their own cricket team. You heard it here first, folks.
Oof, exciting.
So I'll be back next week with Quentin, but also the Facebook group. Tomorrow there'll be an announcement of the next cast interview. So do go on and get your questions in there. That'll be out on Saturday the 12th. And I do need to say a big thank you to Rob for all his help with the Facebook group. Thank you, Rob. Until then, it's a goodbye from me.
And it's a ta-ra from me.
Goodbye, everyone.